A few weeks ago, I got desperately sucked into the game No Man's Sky. To say this game is a grind would be the understatement of the century. According to Steam, I've played 230 hours of No Man's Sky, and at least half of them I'm sure were spent grinding. Grinding for what, you say? Well, grinding for supplies, grinding for better ships, grinding for the perfect planet, grinding for money, grinding to get to the center of the galaxy. And you know what? I love it. Some of the most fun I've had playing the game was at 3 a.m. when my friends and I realized we could sit together in a space station, buy the ships that come in, scrap them for parts, then take the parts to upgrade our main ship to make it worth vastly more, essentially for free. Obviously, this does not sound like the most exciting experience in the world. Compared to the action of Doom Eternal or the exploration of Ghost of Tsushima, ship flipping in No Man's Sky sounds rather mundane. However, it's an experience in gaming that I think is severely misrepresented. Some grinding in games is absolutely necessary. If you've ever played Mario Kart, you've probably shared this experience. You first pick up the game, you play a couple matches against the easiest CPU, then you play against your one friend who has played the game nonstop since launch, and you get destroyed. The thing about some games is that you need a level of technical proficiency to really play. Most competitive games have some element to this. Even Fall Guys, a game heavily reliant on random chance, has some basic concepts that you need to learn. So you lost to your friend and now you want to get revenge. What do? You grind some matches, maybe you beat all the cups, get all the collectibles, and you get better. This kind of grind is an integral part of the game, and there's nothing wrong with that. The grind rewards you with additional content, cosmetics, and most importantly, personal improvement. I probably have sunk more hours into Super Smash Bros. Melee than any other game, and originally, I only started playing out of complete spite so that I could beat my best friend. Competitive games reward you simply for playing them. Other games use grinding as a means of making resources appear valuable. Take netherite in Minecraft, for example. Netherite is a very rare material that can only be obtained from mining resources and crafting it, but it makes tools and equipment much more durable. To me, netherite is the perfect grindable resource. There's a hard limit of how much there can be in a given area, and you have to spend time digging to retrieve it. But this scarcity makes you appreciate how valuable they really are. To me, time spent mining for resources like netherite represents the effort you've put in, and as long as the game reasonably rewards you for that effort with better equipment or new cosmetics, that's time well spent. As you may know, Minecraft allows you to cheat whenever you want and just give yourself the resources you need, avoiding any sort of grind. You can easily break the economy using villager trading as well, or as I like to call that, slave labor. But if there's one constant every time I play Minecraft, the moment I start cheating, I never want to play on that world ever again. Something about that natural progression keeps me coming back to the game, and messing with it always ruins that. No Man's Sky has a lot of resource grinding, some good and some bad. I think the general consensus among my friends is that there's always that one thing that you use more than anything else, and it becomes annoying to have to consistently be grinding to get that specific resource. Overall, though, the way the game locks exotic ships and beautiful planets behind random chance forces you to explore its massive universe, and I think that's a great thing. I've found countless planets with crazy creatures and upside-down rain simply because I was looking for a planet with red grass and blue water. Don't judge me, I like Earth. Randomness also creates a sense of gambling, as if you put in time into the slot machine instead of quarters, and if done without real monetary incentive, of course, can be very entertaining. It feels so good to get that one ship you've been looking for with the perfect coloring and stats. Overall, resource grinding can be a very integral part of some games, and without it, games can feel unfulfilling and lacking of a clear progression structure. Grinding has gained a generally negative connotation in gaming, though, and there are some games that I think really lead the charge with this. Obviously, No Man's Sky comes to mind, but I'd argue that, at least in 2021, the game is a lot more good grind than bad. Some games, even games that I otherwise love, have elements that just feel like a slog to get through, though. The recent Assassin's Creed entries are good examples of this, requiring you to play through various copy and paste side missions just to progress the main mission. Even in Ghost of Tsushima, my personal pick for the Game of the Year in 2020, has a lot of samey areas that play out almost identically every time, and don't really reward the player with anything unique or interesting. What I'm trying to get at is that grinding can be a good and sometimes necessary element to games, as it can reward the player in a multitude of ways, sometimes with personal improvement through repetition, and others with in-game loot. Another good example is in Dark Souls, where grinding an area can reward you with large amounts of money to level up, thus making the rest of the game that much easier. Grinding goes wrong when the reward doesn't match the time put in. But what makes a reward match the time put in? That's up to you to decide, and everybody has their limit. Obviously, most people wouldn't enjoy something that takes hours without giving anything back in return. Mobile games often use this tactic to get people to pay for microtransactions to speed up artificially long wait times. Either way, games that use grinding as a mechanic have to balance a fine line between value and tedium. Tip the scale too far into tedium and the experience becomes unbearably boring. Too far in the opposite direction takes away from the perception of value in the first place. So does No Man's Sky's grind present you with a worthwhile reward at a reasonable price? Personally, I think so. It's far from a perfect game, but to me, it strikes a good balance between the effort you put in and the enjoyment you get out. And at the end of the day, even if I never find my perfect planet with the red grass and the blue water, at least I had fun along the way. Also, do you see this yellow squid ship? It's so cool. It has like little tentacle arms. Okay, thanks for watching the video. Goodbye.